Hello, friends. Do you believe in miracles and unbelievable moments of supernatural influence? If you do, this story is for you. And if you don't, this story is also for you. This story is that of Rinzu, an elephant that did something surprising and uplifting after it was unchained after 50 years. This was what happened. The village of Arizo is one that is blessed with lots of resources and a rich land for planting. Most of the people there were known to be farmers. Their fame was widely spread, and people from different villages went to Arizo to trade with them. The people of Arizo were peaceful people who were always fair in their trade and always hospitable to their guests. Their economic prosperity was envied by many villages, but their good deeds always left them in the good graces of those envious villages. Also, entrance into Arizo was restricted to a particular time of the year, and this was during their trade fair. Arizo village was known to organize trade fairs yearly upon the harvest of their crops. Traders from different parts of the world come around to make purchases and sell to the people of Arizo. It was during one of these trade fairs that Rinzu was bought by one of the chiefs. Rinzu was young at the time it was purchased, but it had to be chained because the people of the land couldn't take the risk of having Rinzu walk around the village, destroying the crops that were just germinating, or the risk of visitors being scared off because of him. Rinzu was always properly taken care of by the people of Arizo, and even children were always found playing with him. Traders from other parts of the world, as well as visitors, were also known to play with Rinzu anytime they were in Arizo village. Rinzu became a home animal. The glory of Arizo never withered, and they continued with their practices. 10 years later, a village called Bulbul that wasn't far from Arizo wanted to discover the secret of Arizo that had brought them into the limelight for countless years. The village then decided to establish great trade relations with Arizo and also send some of their spies as visitors to discover the secret of Arizo. The best opportunity for this act of espionage presented itself when the annual trade fair was organized. The village head of Bulbul sent his people to purchase lots of things from the people of Arizo and also sent his spies that would be residing in Arizo for a year. The trade between both villages was successful, and the people of Arizo, as usual, warmly received the visitors from Bulbul. These spies tried unsuccessfully to discover the secret of Arizo. The need to discover this secret continued for years without any success for Bulbul village, but this wasn't shocking, as Arizo had no secret, and soon they decided to resort to the invasion, which was going to make them capture the village. Bulbul wanted to have the same glory Arizo had, but they decided not to be fair in their dealings. The people of Arizo continued their lifestyle as usual, and leadership of the village had passed through a lot of village heads, as they weren't immune to old age. Interestingly, the kids that used to play with Rinzu when he was initially purchased had grown old and had equally become farmers. However, Rinzu remained an animal that was the cynosure in the eyes of the people of Rinzu. It was also well taken care of by the good people of Arizo. It was still chained, and he had never had one chance to walk around the village or be free to explore the land of Arizo. Days turned into months, months turned into years, and the chance of Rinzu being unchained never came. There had also been bids to purchase Rinzu, but the people of Arizo were already attached to him, and selling him wasn't a possibility. Meanwhile, the people of Bulbul kept on preparing for their invasion, and they finally decided to attack 40 years after their initial attempt to discover the secret of Arizo village failed. They prepared well and decided that the best time to strike was during the next trade fair of Arizo, so other villages could equally realize that Arizo was now under Bulbul village. However, something rather novel had taken place in Arizo that the people of Bulbul were not aware of. Arizo village had just gotten another head, and this head was one of the kids that played with Rinzu when he was first purchased. The new head then decided that Rinzu should be unchained after 50 years of being chained. The villagers were scared of the implication because the day Rinzu would be unchained was a day before the annual trade fair. However, the new village head was adamant about having Rinzu be unchained, as he believed that the animal was not going to do anything to harm the people of Arizo, as well as the traders and visitors from across the world. Rinzu was finally unchained after 50 years. He moved across the village gently and received pats on the body from villagers. He even carried kids on his trunk. He was happy to have been unchained, and even the people were happy because he never destroyed their crops, nor did he harm the villagers. Rinzu had grown up to be a peaceful animal. The people of Arizo opened their gate the next day to allow traders and visitors into the village for trade and visitation without knowing they were at risk of invasion. The fact that they weren't aware made it impossible for them to prepare their warriors, as the people of Arizo were equally known as great warriors. The people that were sent by Bobo village were pretending to trade while trying to evaluate the best opportunity to strike. The opportunity finally presented itself when everyone was already buried in trade relations. The attack was unexpected, and there was no one capable of saving the people of Arizo. The warriors from Bobo launched into the full attack, but suddenly they were intercepted by Rinzu. Rinzu fought with these warriors until the warriors of Arizo were able to finally get their arms and fight their war. The people of Arizo successfully defeated the warriors from Bobo, and at the end of the day, they captured the village of Bobo. But this couldn't have happened if not for the help that was given by Rinzu. The act of Rinzu was unforeseen, as the people of Bobo were unaware of the decision of the new village head of Arizo to unchain Rinzu after he had been chained for 50 years. The people of Arizo, as well as other traders and visitors, were happy for the help offered by Rinzu. They were happy that the village head had refused to not unchain him when they had brought up reasons against Rinzu's unchaining. The people of Arizo were convinced that it was a supernatural force that had helped them, because Rinzu had been with them for generations, and none of the village heads had ever thought it was necessary to unchain Rinzu. Also, it was surprising that the village head had turned deaf ears to the reasons they raised for Rinzu not to be unchained, as the village head was known to listen to his people. It was a miracle Rinzu had not been harmed while he fought the warriors from Bobo, as he wore no form of protection like the warriors from both villages. Did you enjoy this story? Did you also learn from this story? Do share with us your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to like and share this video.